Will everyone please rise for the processional?
You may be seated, please. Good morning. My name is Bruce Hawkins, Sr., and as Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Western Piedmont Community College, it is indeed an honor and pleasure to extend a sincere and heartfelt welcome to all of you to the 2016 Western Piedmont Community College graduation. During this brief time, let's celebrate together with these graduates who represents the future. Let's also celebrate the bounty of choices, possibilities, and adventures from which our graduates can choose. Graduates, your presence here today represents the accomplishments of a dream and a goal. With your degree now in your grasp, you are equipped to take on the world. Your life is now your destiny. Now your life is yours to create, whether to further your formal education or to move directly into your career. We have simply built a strong foundation for the future that you must independently design and build. So get busy with the next step in your education and your life. Michael Deal, founder and CEO of Dale Incorporation, once stated during a commencement exercise, and I quote, "As you start your journey, the first thing you should do is throw away that store-bought map and begin to draw your own. Sure, enjoy this summer. You deserve a rest, but stay focused on your life. As you explore the world, remember the time that you spent here. As you continue to learn and change, reflect on the time when you stumbled and even failed. Recall how your caring mentors push you in the right direction and stretch your imagination and spirit. Keep in touch with each other and your professors, and always remember that this campus, WPCC, is a place that you can call home. Please accept the congratulations and best wishes from the college, its trustees, faculty, and staff. May your hunger and desire to grow and learn take you far beyond Western Piedmont Community College. We wish for you a future that is happy as you are today. Congratulations." I now ask Nate Rosenberger, student trustee and president of the Student Government Association, to advance to the lectern for comments, please. Nate.
Welcome, friends, family, and graduates, and congratulations, class of 2016. We've finally done it. We finished our degrees. For some, it took longer, and others shorter, but no matter the length of time, we've completed it, and for that, we deserve congratulations. Where will you go next? Now, where did you apply to again? It took you how long to graduate? Oh, you switched majors. That's nice. What are you doing over the summer? How are you paying for college? Is that degree of any use? That's an interesting career choice. Have you gotten a job yet? Oh, so you finally graduated. What now? Some of us have the answers to these questions, and others haven't reached an answer just yet. But that's perfectly fine, because if we look around the room, we're going to see individuals from different backgrounds with unique stories to share and diverse experiences that will guide us in our next steps. Remember that Rome was not built in a day, but someone had to take the first step. All of us graduates and any current students or alumni in the crowd are unified in our experiences here at Western Piedmont. We chose Western Piedmont as our first step for futures that we might not even know what we're going to do with. But I encourage everyone here, because everyone in this room either has, is, or will be facing the question of what to do next. I encourage you to simply take action. Employ the critical thinking skills that you have garnered over the past 2 years and evaluate your options. Life will happen to you whether you like it or not. You might as well try and influence the outcome. If you want something, you're going to have to make steps to take it. I will close with a quote from Bradley Whitford. Take action. Every story you've ever connected with, every hero you've ever idolized, every minuscule thing that you've ever accomplished is the result of taking action. You have a choice. You can either be passive victims of circumstance, or you can be the active heroes of your own life. I'm sure you all know which one I recommend. Thank you, and congratulations, 2016 class of Western Piedmont Community College.
Thank you, Nate, and thank you, Mr. Hawkins. The one question that you all may have on your minds right now, if you're like me, is how does Nate get that mortarboard to stay in that position? My name is Michael Helmick. I am the president of Western Piedmont Community College, and I, too, would like to add my personal greetings to the audience and to the graduates, and welcome everyone to the annual spring graduation ceremony at Western Piedmont Community College. This morning, we are gathered to honor the students of the graduating class of 2016. Those students whose desire for learning and aspirations for a better life led them to enroll at Western Piedmont Community College. Before we proceed with the ceremony, I do want to recognize several individuals who are here this morning to participate in this annual celebration of our students' achievement. First, a group of very dedicated and supportive individuals who give so unselfishly of their time and energy to Western Piedmont, our Board of Trustees. If you would stand, trustees, as I call your names, and remain standing, and I'll ask you to sit down after that. Mr. Bruce Hawkins, Chair of the Trustees. Mr. Bill Lennon, Vice Chair of the Trustees. Mr. Ron Martin, Past Chair. Mr. Charlie Taylor, Past Chair. Ms. Ruth Ann Suttle, Mr. Scott Mulwey, Mr. Ronnie Thompson, and Mr. Nate Rosenberger, our student trustee. Please join me in giving these folks a hand. You all may be seated. Thank you. Next, I would like to acknowledge the administration of the college, the deans, and the senior administration who work so well together to ensure the efficient operation of this institution. If you all would please stand as I call your names. Ms. Sandy Hoyleman, Vice President of Administrative Services. Mr. Atticus Simpson, Vice President of Student Development. Ms. Rhea Crawford, Vice President of Academic Affairs. And somewhere out there is Ms. Kathy Durham, who's the Executive Assistant to the President. She is helping out in the area. Also our deans, Ms. Mary Charlotte Safford, Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences, Mr. Michael Daniels, Dean of Science, Engineering, and Mathematics. Ms. Anne Marie McNeely, Dean of Developmental Education and Health Sciences. Ms. Leslie McKesson, Dean of Business and Public Services. Mr. Lee Kaiser, Dean of Continuing Education, Ms. Susan Williams, Dean of Student Services, and Mr. Jim Coleman, Dean of Technology and Learning Resources. Please join me in giving these folks a hand. Thank you, and you all may be seated. Next, a group of individuals without whom we could not operate this college, and I mean literally not operate the college. You may not be aware that Western Piedmont Community College consistently outperforms many of the other North Carolina community colleges on the mandated performance measures required by the state. And our surveys indicate that our students are pleased with the education that they receive here and consistently recommend us to their friends and family. WPCC is a college of excellence because we have the best, most dedicated faculty and staff of any college that I know. We do not say thank you enough to these individuals, so please join me in thanking the faculty and staff of Western Piedmont Community College as they stand to receive your applause. You all may be seated. Finally, while I am thanking individuals who figure so prominently in our college, I want to thank those individuals who are not on stage, but make what goes on up here possible. This event does not come together all by itself. So please help me thank the staff who helped make this graduation event happen, the Student Services staff. Before I introduce our speaker, I want to draw your attention to a few items of the ceremony that help make Western Piedmont graduations special. First, you probably noticed the college mace carried onto the stage by Rusty Harrison, chair of the Faculty Staff Council, and is located to my right and held in a wrought metal stand. Historically, a mace was carried ahead of high government officials to announce to everyone that someone prominent was coming. Today, a mace is largely ceremonial, and they are used frequently in academic events as they are a symbol tying the past of the college to the present. This mace has elements that date back more than 20 years at the college, and the current version incorporates both those historical elements and more modern elements, including the stand that you see before you that was made a few years back by our welding students at Western Piedmont. Next, in your program, you will find a description of the ceremonial regalia that is worn by many of our faculty and staff. The colors of the hoods that are worn designate both the academic discipline of the wearer and the colleges from which the degree was earned. You might find it interesting to see how many disciplines are represented by the faculty and staff of Western Piedmont. Lastly, I want to point out the new symbol that is debuting this year, the Presidential Medallion. Presidents at most colleges have a medallion that represents the office, and I am wearing the new Western Piedmont Presidential Medallion. And it gives me great pleasure to tell you that it is an example of the fine work that is done by the Advanced Machining Program at Western Piedmont. Instructors Brandon Hensley and Larry Thompson and our machining students designed and fabricated this medallion, which will be worn by me for my years as president and then passed on to the next president. It will be inscribed with the name of the presidents who have served this college for the past 52 years, and I hope it stays an enduring symbol of this office and this college. Now it is my pleasure to introduce this morning's speaker. In 2015, Forest City native Bill McBrayer Jr. was appointed to the North Carolina House of Representatives to serve on the State Board of Community Colleges for a 6-year term. He received the nomination from the North Carolina House member Jay Adams of Hickory. In nominating him to serve on the state board, Mr. Adams said, "I was honored to nominate such a deserving person. Bill McBrayer has the experience in working with our local community college through being one of the founders of the Catawba Valley Community College Furniture Academy." The Furniture Academy mentioned by Mr. Adams continues to train many individuals who keep our local furniture businesses thriving and successful, and is a good example of cooperation between business and community colleges. Mr. McBrayer is employed at Lexington Home Brands, a local furniture manufacturer located in Burke County, where he is head of human resources and is the safety, health, and environmental manager. He has been with Lexington Home Brands for nearly 22 years. Growing up in Forest City, he is a product of the area and has resided in Hickory for the past 27 years. With his wife Laura and his 2 sons, Will, who is now 27, and Thomas, who is 19. Mrs. McBrayer is with us here this morning and will be critiquing Bill's performance. Mr. McBrayer's education includes a degree from Lenore-Rhine University, coursework from Isothermal Community College, and he is a graduate of both Leadership Catawba and Dale Carnegie. He continues to be active in Boy Scouts, Catawba County Chamber of Commerce, Hickory Regional Planning Commission, Catawba Valley Job Ready Partnership, Catawba County Workforce Development, and Hickory City Library Board. Of all the many things that Mr. McBrayer does, I find his serving as a varsity lacrosse official for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association to be especially intriguing. It sounds like a great way to get a lot of exercise. Mr. McBrayer brings a refreshing change to the North Carolina State Board of Community Colleges. He is determined to visit as many of the colleges in the state as possible, and I think he just told me he hit number 15 recently, or will hit number 15. And with each visit, he learns more about the challenges the colleges face and the good works that community colleges do in the area. In his time on the board, he has consistently been an advocate for improving the practices and providing a better workforce education to our state. Please help me welcome to the lectern Mr. Bill McBrayer, member of the North Carolina State Board of Community Colleges.
I'm old, I need my glasses. Well, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. And congratulations to the graduating class of 2016. Now, I realize that the only thing that's standing between you and your celebratory lunch is me. All right? I get that. So this is graduation. It's time for gift giving, celebrating. So I'm going to give you two gifts. I'm going to give you two S's. It's going to be short. It's going to be sweet. Okay? So, you know, 90% of you out here aren't going to remember a thing I say when you walk out of here. The 10% of you that do remember what I say really won't care. So, but in all seriousness, I'd like to thank Dr. Helmick for inviting me to speak here today. As a sitting member on the State Board of Community Colleges, it is truly an honor to be here, not only to represent our board in the entire community college system and its 58 community colleges. 58 community colleges. You were the second one I visited, and the only reason why you were second is because I live in Catawba County and work with them really close, and they would have frowned on me if I hadn't gone to see them first. But it's really great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is I know you got parents out here. You have maybe husbands and wives and family members. I remember the day I graduated from college. You know, my parents really didn't care about who got the cum laude and sigma cum laude. When they saw me walk across the stage, they said, "Thank the Lord." So I'd like to tell you my story, because not that my story is special, but along the way I want to share some nuggets. Can y'all see that? It's not a real gold nugget. The finishing department at my plant finished it for me. I found it in the back parking lot. But it's a representative of nugget. And I want to share with you some nuggets and hope that you can take these nuggets with you when you leave. At first, I want to say by no means was I an academic student. I grew up in Forest City, as mentioned earlier, not far from here. I attended public schools. I love going to school because I'm a very social person. It allowed me to socialize with all my friends. I never really got into the schoolwork part of school, and I still suffer for it to this very day. I had two older sisters that graduated from Lenore-Rhine College, so now it was baby brother's time to go to school, so I thought I'll give it a try. After graduated from East Rutherford High School in 1976, I reluctantly went to Isothermal Community College and signed up for classes. Now, I grew up playing sports, and back in the day, there were only three: football, basketball, and baseball. There's a whole lot more now. But I became fairly competitive with basketball. So I decided I'm going to join the isothermal basketball team or go out for the team. Bad mistake, because I made the team. Okay, that's good. Bad mistake is it took me away from my studies. And believe you me, I needed to be in the books and doing my studies. So, nugget number one, life is full of choices. Make sure you choose the right one. I ended up going to isothermal for 3 years. Now I realize it's a 2-year school. Like I said earlier, I was not an academic student. So I went for 3 years. Finally, I quit. My grades were so bad, I was either going to quit or they were going to chunk me, one of the two. It was not my best moment. And needless to say, my parents were very upset and disappointed in me. So I went to work for my neighbor's LP gas company. I refilled 20-pound cylinders on the loading docks. I painted those gas tanks out in the hot summer days. I crawled under houses, running copper gas line to furnaces. I even worked in chicken houses, repairing chicken brooders. You're talking about nasty. All along, I lived at home with my parents, and they made me pay $150 a month. And back in that day, that was no small change. All along, they were encouraging me, you need to go to school, you need to go to school. All along, I'm thinking, I don't need to go to school. I don't need to go to school. I then took a job working for Northwestern Bank in Forest City and in Shelby. I was referred to as the chaser. Now, for you folks that might not know what the chaser is, and I hope you never get to meet one, the chaser is the person that calls on delinquent customers and says, when are you going to make your payment? I would repossess cars. I would start foreclosure on houses. And it didn't take me long to realize that this was not the job for me. It was far too dangerous. All along, my parents were saying, encourage me to go to school. You need to go to school. So, nugget number 2. If you want the rainbow, you have to put up with the rain. I still thought that I could have the rainbow without returning to college. My dad ran a Western Auto for 37 years in Forest City. After high school, he enlisted in the Army and served in the South Pacific during World War II. He never attended college upon his return, something he regretted the rest of his life. My mother worked as a librarian at the local school. She attended Peace College in Raleigh. My parents were hell-bent on getting their son an education, and they were thinking that the male was the main breadwinner of the family. One day, they sat me down and said, son, if you're planning on returning to college and you want us to help you do that, then you need to make a decision. At that very moment, a light went off in my head, and I knew I needed to return to school to get a degree. Nugget number 3. There is never a right time to do the wrong thing, and there is never a wrong time to do the right thing. I thought since I had 2 sisters graduate from Lenore-Rhine that I might get in on their coattails, so I applied at Lenore-Rhine. I remember sitting down with the Dean of Admissions, Dr. Dean Thompson. I'll never forget our conversation, nor did he. I had to write a paper on why I wanted to attend Lenore-Rhine. I also had to have my transcripts sent from isothermal to help LR in their decision-making process. Well, I hand-delivered mine that day to Dr. Thompson, and I remember him saying, I can't accept these because they have to be sent by the school in which you previously attended. I said, Dr. Thompson, if you open the envelope, you'll see that I did not alter the grades, or they'd be a whole lot better than what they are. Nugget number 4, the truth will set you free. He laughed and he agreed with me, and later I was accepted at Lenore-Rhine, and we became good friends from then on. I went to Lenore-Rhine for 4 years. Now, isothermal for 3, Lenore-Rhine for 4, that's 7. You can call me doctor, or you don't have to, but I got years of schooling. Few of my community college grades transferred because of how bad they were. When I finally graduated, I was 25 years old. 25 years old. All my friends were already out into the real world. They were working, making money, driving nice cars, starting families, and I'm just graduating from college. So nugget number 5, it is never too late to begin, and age is just a number. After college, I was offered a job in Shelby, running a sporting goods store. I had worked at one in Hickory while attending the Lower Rhine. I moved to Shelby and worked there for the next 2 years. Then one day, the president of Classic Leather Incorporated, which was a furniture company, or is a furniture company, the president called me. He said that they were looking for a young, energetic person to get into their training program. He said that his wife had mentioned my name because when she would bring her daughters into the store to shop for sporting goods, I was so nice and helpful to them, and so she thought I would make a good candidate. Now, I mention this to you because nugget number 6, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Always put your best foot forward, and always treat others as you would want to be treated. Going that extra mile that day landed me in a better job. I started work at Classic Leather in 1987. I worked in purchasing of leather hides. I worked with the sales aids department. I traveled in the country with the sales force, helping with catalogs and swatches in sales meetings. I ended my career as the director of human resources. One day, the same president that hired me called me into his office, telling me he was laying me off. Laying me off. I was a victim of downsizing. Nugget number 7. One of the deepest drives in human nature is the desire to be appreciated. Wow. Devastation, panic set into motion. I felt I was no longer appreciated. I was a newlywed. I had a house payment. Now I had no job. What was I going to tell my wife? What was I going to do? I began to feel sorry for myself, and I thought I was unworthy of the good life. I remember praying about it to God, asking Him what He has in store for me next. Not long after my termination, I woke up one morning and I told myself, nugget number 8, you can be bitter or you can be better. I chose the latter. I would get up at my normal time. I would make a list of people that I knew. I'd call them up and I'd say, hey, I'm out of work. I'm out of work. I went on numerous interviews, always continuing to reach out to my community and all my friends. I wanted everybody to know that I was out of work and I needed a job. Well, during my 4th week of unemployment, I got a call from a guy in my Sunday school class telling me about Lexington Home Brands. I sent in a resume and later received a call for an interview. Now, is this a small world or what? The Vice President of Human Resources was a Lenore Ryan graduate. We hit it off great, and I ended up being the chosen one. And I've been at Lexington ever since. That Vice President of Human Resources is no longer with the company, but we still remain friends to this day. You know, in this world of ours, it is very important to network. I'm always telling our 2 sons, nugget number 9, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. It still rings true in my life to this day. As Dr. Helmick said, and the program says, I'm the Human Resource Manager, Safety, Health, and Environmental Manager at Lexington Home Brands. I love what I do. I love who I do it for. I've been with the company going on 22 years. I encourage each of you to try and procure a job that gives you meaning and purpose in your life. Nugget number 10. life is too short to be miserable. I was reminded of this when I attended a Fellowship of Christian Athletes event in Hickory earlier this year. Our guest speaker was Clemson's head football coach, Dabo Swinney. He gave us many nuggets that night. I'll remember one in particular. Excuse me. He said that he loved to eat those gummy bears. And he referred to when he put the gummy bear in his mouth, how the old sour taste, but later the sourness went away and it was sweet. And then he said, nugget number 11, life is like a sour gummy bear. You got to suck through the sour to get to the sweet. In closing, if you've heard nothing I've said to this point, please grasp the following, because the following will sustain you throughout your life. Whatever you do in life, you got to do it with gusto. Famous motivational speaker Dale Carnegie said, if you act enthusiastic, you'll be enthusiastic. Nugget number 12. It's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude in life. If you choose a job or a career and it's not what you thought it would be, choose something else. Now that says easy and does hard sometimes, but don't be miserable. Try to enjoy what you do. Work is only work when you'd rather be doing something else. Again, life is too short to be miserable. Don't get caught up in a rut. National radio host and best-selling author Dave Ramsey says a rut is an open-ended grave. I try to live by the Boy Scout law. I challenge each of you to do the same. If there's any scouts in the room, you'll know what I'm talking about. We raised one eagle and then one went a little ways and stopped. But the scout law is always be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Now, how can you go wrong if you possess these qualities? I have 5 more nuggets to take with you, and then you can go celebrate after we do all the other stuff. When you're out there in the real world, going to your next college or going to your next job, number 1, remember that a person's name is to them the sweetest and most important sound in any language. A person's name. Number 2, don't be shy. A question not asked is information not learned. Number 3, possess a firm handshake and look people in the eye. Number 4, a goal without a plan is just a wish. 5, one is rich, not through one's possession, but through that of which one can with dignity do without. And for good measure, not last, is service to humanity is the best work of life. Thank you and good luck.
I now ask the candidates for graduation to please stand. President Helmick, I'm honored to speak on behalf of the faculty of Western Piedmont Community College to present to you these candidates for graduation. I certify that these persons have fulfilled the graduation requirements for their respective programs of study as prescribed by the college and the North Carolina Community College system, and recommend that you confer upon them the degrees and diplomas for which they have qualified.
Candidates, you have prepared for the next stage in your lives by completing a prescribed program of study. Whether you choose to continue your formal education at a 4-year college or university, continue employment in your chosen field, or begin employment in a new career, you will be faced with the challenge of adjusting to a constantly changing world in the 21st century. Our world continues to become more complex, requiring that we master the technological and scientific and humanistic skills which contribute to the development of our society. The foundation you have received in general education will enable you to think critically, to reason logically, and to judge wisely, both in your careers and in your daily lives. Western Piedmont Community College has prepared you well for whatever path you choose, but I urge you to remember that your education is not ending. It is just beginning. Make a commitment at this ceremony to become a lifelong learner and to continually hone the skills that you have obtained in your time here. Now, with the exception of the first row, the graduates may be seated. The graduates will come forward as their names are called and receive their degrees and diplomas. And as a special request, I ask that audience members respect the solemnity of this ceremony and treat all graduates with dignity and respect during the upcoming conferring of degrees. Now, the first of our deans will come forward to the lectern as we begin to present our awards.
Division of Humanities and Social Sciences. Candidates for the degree of Associate in Arts. Taylor Renee Boone, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Ashley Nicole Britton. J.C. E. Cohen, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Jordan Wayne Crawley, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Hannah Alexis Crisp, Phi Theta Kappa. Jennifer Leanne Dupuy. Jacob Garland. Marlene Brooke Griffin. Jessica Nicole Hudson. Stephanie Knupp, Honors. Nicole A. Kelly, High Honors. Brooke Nicole Lambert. Joseph Allen Martin, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Kevin Josue Martinez Ramirez. Nathan Ryan McDaniel, High Honors. LaShonda C. Odom. Natalie Marie Powell, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Sydney Leanne Prophet, honors. Nathaniel Rosenberger, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors. Mary Shahah, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Mercedes Skidmore. Kristen Page Smith. Katie Sudreth. Jessica Emily Torres, honors. La Mariah Ashane Vanoy. Cody Williams, high honors. Michaela Elizabeth Williams. Melissa Ann Wilson. Alexandria Yates. Candidate for the degree of Associate in Fine Arts Art, Patricia Collins Morrison, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors.
Division of Science, Engineering, and Mathematics. Candidates for the degree of Associate in Science: Zachary A. Arnsman, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors. Hans Bondell Bryant, Jr. Alexandria Caraway, Phi Theta Kappa. Ryan Austin Carswell. Jericho Benjamin Cook, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors. Nathan R. Edmondson, honors. Melody Ilcandia Estevez. Austin Samuel Halliburton. Mitchell Ensley Hefner, honors. Jaquan Lipford. Jostin Key Mobley. Division of Health Sciences. Candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science. Medical Assisting. Courtney A. Bass, high honors. Clara Renee Bumgarner. Josue Ivan Chavez. Haley Carolyn Clark, high honors. Cynthia H. Franklin. Allison N. Gardner, high honors. Michelle B. Hoyle, honors. Brandy M. Lale, honors. Fabiola V. Salazar Lopez. Allison N. Sams. Misty M. Shu. Jennifer Lynn Ryder, Phi Theta Kappa. Mai Yang. Pa Yang, Phi Theta Kappa. Medical Laboratory Technology, Tara J. Anderson. Brittany Cagle. Courtney Hampton. Tiffany Mua. Diana R. Mowry. Destiny Rose, Phi Theta Kappa. Kathy Zalewski. Nursing, Brittany Renee Bowman. Kelly Burns. Savannah Carswell. Morgan Brooke Coffey. Angela Renee Crisp. Kelly Garcia Vasquez, Phi Theta Kappa. Catherine M. Head. Jessica Renee Hensley, Phi Theta Kappa. Shannon Lindsay Johnson, Phi Theta Kappa. Malia Colson Kenworthy. Jessica Kyla Morris. Johnsey M. Sailors. Emmy Smith. Megan Diana Stiles. Madison Blake Talent. Jamie Lee Trevorrow. Shannon Starr Vaughn. Megan Sienna Wise. Recreational Therapy Assistant, Deanna Latrice Perkins Banner. Sierra J. Keller. Allison Sierra Woods, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Therapeutic Recreation Assistant, Mackenzie Scout Snyder, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Candidates for diploma, dental assisting, Rebecca Ann Bryan, High Honors. Stacy Lorla Buendia Castro. Whitney Shantae Cash. Kaylee Brooke Coffey, High Honors. Guillermo J. Franco, High Honors. Callie Jackson, Honors. Tipper Lane, Honors. Shelby Lohman. Venezuela Ortiz. Diana Mata Rojas, honors. Rebecca E. Schwartz. Medical assisting, Carrie E. Mills, honors.
One of the interesting things about Western Piedmont is how many people in this area have a connection to the college. I suspect we have many proud Western Piedmont graduates or alumni here today, and I think it would be great to see how many of you all in the audience and also behind me are either graduates or have attended a class at Western Piedmont. So audience, before the graduating class of 2016 is officially presented, I would ask that all persons in the audience who are past Western Piedmont alumni, you have either graduated or attended Western Piedmont, to please stand so we can see who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the legacy of this college. Thank you all for standing. Now, will the Western Piedmont Community College class of 2016 please stand? And now we're going to make it official. And now, by the authority vested in me by the trustees of Western Piedmont Community College, the North Carolina Community College System, and the state of North Carolina, and in recognition of the completion of your prescribed programs of study and all other requirements of Western Piedmont Community College, I take great pleasure in hereby conferring your degrees and diplomas to you, together with all rights and privileges. Let's give them a hand. Graduates, the tassel on your mortarboard is currently on the right, which is the traditional location for students who have not completed their degree. Degree completers wear their tassels on the left. So we degree completers, and there's a bunch of us here today, would like to ask you to join us in our ranks. So please raise your left hand. Okay, your other left hand. You did finish, remember. Now grasp the end of the tassel and move it to the left, signifying your acceptance into the rank of degree completers. Graduates, you are officially recognized as Western Piedmont's graduating class of 2016. The rest of you stand and applaud our graduates, please. We're going to ask the graduates to remain standing, and will the audience please be seated as we begin our recessional. Thank you.